I guess you are not so perfect after all. You are in the middle between who you've always been and who you are becoming, and this channel may be for you. I am at a point in my life right now where I am dismantling Perfect Patty. And what I mean by that is there's a movie called Why Did I Get Married? In that movie, there's a woman who has like perfect everything. Everybody believes she has perfect everything all the time. And in this movie, this Perfect Patty has made a big mistake. And the big mistake that she has made is that she ends up accidentally killing her son. I don't know how, don't ask me. It was either for two reasons that I think. It may not even be it. First reason may be because she was in a hot car and slipped the window all the way up, so he suffocated and he died. Or the second reissue or the reason, maybe because she didn't buckle his seatbelt in, and so he ends up falling down and dying. I don't know. Because the husband ends up saying, like, to somebody else, you know, how could she be so stupid to not buckle him in? You know, and so either way situation happened, and, you know, so I call myself that. I call that part of myself, I've named it Perfect Patty. And in the movie, she's not dismantling it, but she is confronted to the fact that if I'm so perfect, how did I make all these mistakes? How did I make that one huge mistake at this moment? You know? And her perfect patty was like having everything together, having all the great advice, having the great life, just being super good in everything. But my perfect patty is being always happy and always bubbly and always life at the party and always like, oh my gosh, ready for everything. Very like, ooh, like, you know. And, you know, some years ago, it's so funny, not funny, but I think it's very interesting. Years ago, when I was very little, I don't even know how old I was. I remember it was me and my sisters. We were all at a Safeway and we were all hanging out. We would do that frequently, go to Safeway all together. And it's so crazy because my older sister that said this, actually, I feel like she has the same issue or had the same issue as me, where the perfect patty, you know, thoughts. Facade. There you go. Mask. Better. And she was going around Safeway and somebody stopped all of us. And they were like, we were laughing and joking around. And they stopped and they were like, wow, you guys look like a really happy family. And she was like, we are. And we were like, yeah. And we totally lied. We were actually very unhappy. I was very unhappy at that moment. But I lied with the facade that we were. We were happy when we really weren't. And I think that those are like the building blocks of how this perfect patty for me has been built. You know? For me, it's like, I call it my shadow parts, right? I'm learning something else, but I've called something else. But like when I first got into it, it's like it's my shadow parts and the bad parts of me that I think are bad. And it's like I have her locked away in a garage. And I don't want anybody to know she's there. I don't want anybody to know she's alive. I want her to stay quiet and stay in the back. And for everybody to see this mask, this bubbly, this person, like everything. Or even you see the angry side of me. It's like, okay, whatever. As long as you don't see this part, her in the garage, right? The shadow parts. The parts that I would consider, I think now is just tainted. And what happens is I have an experience with people. I have a relationship with people. And then it's almost like they come into my house. And this part of me, the bad part, is in the garage. And we're having tea or we're doing something. And then you'll hear like, and somebody's like, wait, girl, somebody's in the garage. And I'm like, oh no, girl, that's not the garage. That's this and this and that, that. Oh no, no, no. And I try to be like, no, 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 no. Like kind of blind them. To be like, that's not, no, no, no. It's this, all these good reasons, right? Because the people coming into my house and hearing something, the hearing something typically is that I do something. Maybe I lie. Maybe I'll be manipulative. Maybe I do something, whatever it is, right? Selfishness, whatever. In that moment for myself, that person would be like, I would never think you would ever do something like that in my life. That's so crazy. What the heck? Why would you do that? That's the shadow parts of me that come out. And then the person's like, wait, what's that noise? And I'm like, no, 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 no. And I always have this good reason, this good excuse, this good everything as to why I did this particular thing, to kind of like blind that person a little bit, to be like, I'm not that, no, 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 no. Because it's part of myself that I haven't yet learned how to love, right? To accept, to fully, and acceptance, I mean, I'm going to keep doing it, but to really fully see all of it, right? And to still see this unlovable part of myself and to still show this part of myself, hey, I love you. You're still lovable. Show her that she can come out now and she can be loved by me, you know? My perfect patty thinks of black and white. Like, she's like, you're either good or you're bad. That's it. There's no other stuff. There's no other way. If you are selfish, you're not going to be generous. If you are manipulative, you're not loving. If you are a person that lies, you are just not a trustworthy person. I'm just so sorry. No. And it's always black and white with this part of myself. And something happened recently that kind of changed my views on it a little bit. Well, I was confronted with the situation in real life. And somebody did the most selfish, to me, the most selfish thing you could ever do to somebody in this entire world, to me, again, my opinion. And then the same person that did, let me take a minute to myself. That's for me. But the person that did this most selfish thing that I would ever think somebody could do, then stopped and did the most generous thing that I have ever seen somebody do. And honestly, that kind of it made me go like, wait, what? Who are you? Which one are you? What? And it made me kind of see this thing in a more different way in real time. That a person can be very selfish. They can have a very selfish behavior and still be a very caring and generous individual. And so it made me question myself. Yeah, I can have moments of being manipulative, being a liar, being a certain way, maybe even selfish sometimes. And I can also be very loving, and I can also be very generous and caring, and yeah, just realizing that I'm still seeing the eyes of Perfect Patty sometimes. But I am realizing slowly that through that situation too, where now I'm looking at it internally of maybe that is how it is even inside myself. Does that make sense? I'm realizing that all parts of me need to be loved. All parts of me deserve to be loved by me. The girl in the basement, in the garage, and the girl right here too. That we're all very complex human beings, and I'm realizing I am the complex one too. I'm right in the boat with y'all. I don't know exactly when. That's something too that she had said, when this part of my perfect patty came. I know for sure it was in childhood. I just don't know exactly when. I think it's just moments, like I said, about the store, where I've realized, and so many people, I have 8 girls in the family. So just having an experience of so many different types of people, women around me, and seeing women that were all different types, and seeing the one that may have tried to be perfect patty. I remember my sister was trying to be so perfect that she would always tell us she doesn't even fart. So when she farted, I remember I was pretty old, I was probably 13 or 14, and she farted, and we were all like, you farted! And she was like, yeah, we all do. And we're like, no, not you. And we were all laughing, and we made her really upset and mad. I think she started crying or something like that may have happened. But we were also shocked because that's how perfect she allowed us to think that she was. That's how perfect we saw her. That's how perfect that mask that she had perfection that she had presented to us. And I see that is so interesting. I'm just realizing, like, while I'm dismantling, I haven't fully done it, but while I'm dismantling this perfect patty mask or piece of myself, is that I put it down here, is that I'm learning to love even the tainted parts of myself. That girl in the basement, the girl in the garage, I'm learning to slowly bring her out and not hide her away anymore. And I don't think that means like accepting all of her and doing everything for me. No, but just getting to know her a little bit more as to why she does stuff that she does. Getting to the root of it and really learning to love that part. Then my having a session, and they were just saying like, and it's like crazy because, like, again, I'm here, I want to learn, I want to grow. And then there's another part of me too, perfect patty, that's like, when I hear it being like generousness and selfishness can still be you can still, they can still coexist. Like, why are you acting like they are so different? A part of me, the perfect Patty, is like, no, it's not true. Black and white. Okay, you're selfish, you're not generous. Like, you're just a bad person. Like, that's crazy. If you're manipulative, you're not loving. No, you know. But like, now I heard the word right now that said, but you are learning, but you are growing. You could be in transition, right? Of this, in the middle of this, you could be a person that is selfish and transitioning and learning to also be generous too. You could be selfish for your time because you know you're limited, you know, and so you could be, that could be perceived as selfish. But even in manipulation too, what are you trying to get from that? Why? You know. Now I'm babbling on, but yeah, I think I'm just learning to love that part of me and really dismantling Perfect Patty, dismantling it all the way. Yeah. Okay. That's my video for today. So you guys have a great day. I love you. If nobody else has told you that, I love you. You have a great day.